What's going on, Apes the Ape Army? My name is Tyler and welcome back to the channel for another very important AMC update video. So in this video, we're going to be going over why I do think AMC stock fell so hard today, down over 10.5%, including regular trading and after hours trading, currently sitting at $36.45, and go over why this could be seen as a bad thing, but also a good thing at the same time. So I think that is very important to cover in this video, but we are also going to take a brief look at the technicals and see what that is telling us, as well as look at the option chain and go over the fact that institutional investors are still buying AMC stock. So I think you guys will get a lot of great information out of this video. If you do, make sure to hit that like button for me, comment down below, and consider subscribing to the channel. And for those of you guys that are regulars to this channel and watch these videos all the time, first things first, I love and appreciate every single one of you guys. But secondly, I'm sure you guys have known from a couple videos I have indicated that today was the day for resentencing of the guy that killed my brother. Now, if you guys want a visual representation of what my brother does look like, here is the shirt. And just a little update from court, he was potentially up for even less time because a technical error with the point system in Michigan. So he actually did get 6 years reduced, but the maximum stays the same at 62.5 years, and the minimum comes down to another 26 years from now. So that is overall great news. I mean, I'm not a judge, so I'll take it, but if you guys were wondering, that is that little update, and that is why this video is coming at you guys so late for today. But without any further ado, let's get into this video, guys. Let's first talk about the technical analysis. And I mean, we could look more bullish. Obviously, you could always look more bullish, but I wouldn't go as far as to say this is bearish yet. We're not hitting this lower low at about $34, even $33, and ultimately that low that we did have at $31.10. We're not quite down there yet, so we're not hitting lower lows, but we're definitely on a trajectory. If we do get another really bad day, that is possible, and we could turn around back into a bearish downtrend. But when that is happening, you are going to be seeing shorts that are actually taking on new short positions and doubling down on these short positions. So I do think essentially, the lower you do go, the more apes that can collect an even larger percentage of the total outstanding shares of AMC stock, the better the overall short squeeze will be, especially if we act as a group and act as a collective. Also, when it does come down to the technical analysis, we are well above, even still, from our support levels. The first one we're going to want to watch is $34. The next one that is the most important one is that $30 level, because like I point out in many videos, a lot of options contracts were exercised at the $20 strikes and the $40 strikes. So that is literally right in the middle. If we break down, I mean, I don't think that's going to happen, but if we were to break down, you're looking at about 20 on the lowest. But I really think we're going to either find support right here or start to see this bounce yet again. If we do see that bounce, obviously we did see a little bit of resistance around this $46, even $45 price. So that's where we're going to want to actually see if we can break out. And we are in a death cross, guys. The 50-day moving average is under the 200-day moving average, at least on the 4-hour candlestick chart. So if we can see a increase in AMC share price that is significant and that does have momentum, we can see this 50-day moving average go above the 200-day moving average, which would indicate a golden cross, and then we'd see a lot of algorithmic trading programs start to kick in. And the 200-day moving average is right at our resistance level that we did hit just 2 trading days ago. That is at $46.35, and that's pretty much the high that we did hit, $46.50, my bad, but literally right on the 200-day moving average. So if we can cross that, then I think we're looking great for a rally here. It's hard to say based off the technicals what I think will happen. Let's take a look at the volume and see what that did. And you can see the volume did come down significantly from the past couple of days, being at almost 170 million and then 157 million, now at 93 million. So it's come down quite a lot. So you're seeing that price being reflected as far as the volume is going down as well. Now let's get into my theory about what did cause AMC stock to go down today, how this is good but also bad at the same time. So this article says AMC gets low price tag in new ETF hit by indexing quirk. Now, what is interesting about this, they pick 50 companies that are in between about $2 and $5. They buy those. Once portfolio rebalancing does come, the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, they will sell stocks that go over $10. They will buy stocks that go to about $1.25. But what is very interesting is that this ETF was started today, and they bought AMC, and they bought a lot lot of AMC. They bought 7% of the total ETF in AMC, but that is essentially the good part. I guess you would say that they actually bought AMC pretty much the first day that they did start this fund. But I think what is hurting the stock is that the head of product at Direxion, that is the firm that did buy AMC, says in quotes, "We're going to sell it," Dave Mazza. And then he says in quotes, "and hopefully we'll buy another company that could have the same potential." So it's quite unclear when they actually did buy their position, but nevertheless, they're still holding on. I don't suspect that it's a very large position. There's not too much information on this ETF yet because it just came out today. So stay tuned for a future video regarding of that. But I think it's a good sign. Obviously, they went way out of the price zone. If they did buy today, or even, you know, since the short squeezes happened in between about June 1st and June 3rd, either way, you'd be buying this over $40 or, you know, mid 30s. So that would still be good. But odds are that they did buy these shares today, and the negative is that they're going to be selling them, literally what they said. So I think this is having an impact on the price. I could be wrong here. There's obviously fraud, manipulation, and corruption that is going on with the stock, but that is my best guess on why AMC is down over 10.5% today, because we really didn't get any other negative news. So let's switch our attention to the Ortex data. Keep in mind, take this information with a grain of salt. Ortex's algorithms, for the one hand, have been very off recently in tracking the estimated short interest. They did have a major correction that did indicate that AMC short interest went down about 4%. So it's really hard to tell what the real number is. But on the other hand, we know that Ortex is not being reported the best data, just because there's ways hedge funds and institutions can actually cover up their short positions using a lot of fraudulent activities like we do know, but also with the option chain. So that is something very important to keep in mind. This is just giving you guys an overall concept of what is going on, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys something you have to know as well. So the short interest change of positive 1.92%, return shares 4.59 million, borrowed shares of 6.38 million. So that's a borrow change of 1.78 million shares. Current short interest percentage of free float at 14.64%. Current shares that are sold short of 74.88 million. Something very important to keep in mind here, we have seen the short interest going down, and that's the estimated number. Keep that in mind. But you are also seeing a lot of return shares, also a lot of borrowed shares. But recently, we have been seeing about 3 times more return shares than actual borrowed shares, and we have been seeing the share price just cratering. So I think it's a lot of these free float on loan shares, not necessarily shares that have been sold short yet, but shares that other brokerages have actually lent out, or, you know, took from somebody else and have not actually been shorted yet. So that's very important to keep in mind as well. I personally think when you are looking at the overall grand scope of what is going on with AMC stock, the real short interest, including synthetic short positions as well as naked short positions and legal short positions, you're looking at about a 20 to even 30, 40, 50% short interest. It may even be higher than that, just because we own so much of the float. So take this information with a grain of salt, but that is the Ortex data. Share utilization is at 83.56% out of 100, so still a relatively hard stock to borrow, as well as the days to cover at 0.55. So it wouldn't be hard for shorts to actually exit their positions, but they are choosing to not do so. Now let's take a look at the 13F filings that we are being reported for today. Quite a bit of them, actually. We've seen one buy, and these are all the filings that were just reported today, including this red one right here, but it doesn't want to highlight. We only had one firm reported that they did sell out of their calls, so this was only calls. But for the most part, you're seeing all these other guys either holding on to their positions. You're also seeing 3 firms that are buying more of AMC stock. They're not buying a whole lot, but the fact that these funds, hedge funds, institutions, whoever they are, obviously the names are there, but I'm not going to research into them. Now, they are actually holding on to their position. So that is bullish in and of itself, because if you are bearish on something, especially when you have millions and millions of dollars in something, you're not going to leave it in that stock. You're not going to do that. So I think this is a bullish sign right here. We're going to want to see more buying going in from institutional investors rather than selling. Obviously, that is always going to be a better thing. But let's take a look at the short interest owners. Let's see if anything has changed. Check with you guys right here. And we do have puts from Valeo Financial Advisors, only controls about 2,600 shares. So that was probably a bit of hedging. I do believe they were one of the institutional owners that actually did buy shares as well. So that is pretty much everything as far as that. The Stock O tracker data, let's see what this is telling us. And it's no surprise yet again that we are going to be looking at hundreds of thousands of contracts that are going to expire out of the money coming tomorrow, as well as we don't have our next huge potential for a gamma squeeze coming till August 20th, and then the next one that is even more likely than that is September 7th. So I wouldn't get your hopes up on a gamma squeeze now, because we're seeing this short attack like we usually do towards the end of the week, the closer we do get to expiration. But we still have 25,000 contracts that are in the money. It's not really going to push the needle up a whole lot. But something that I do want to remind you guys of, if you are buying in between $100 and $145 strike calls, that is probably not the best thing you can do. I'm not a financial advisor, not a financial planner or your dad, so ultimately do whatever you guys want to do. But when you are buying these contracts, the market makers are usually on the back end of them, and if you guys are buying in between $100 and even $145 strikes, you are giving the market makers all of that free money. You are paying for these options, and they are not hedging them by actually buying shares, because they don't expect AMC to go over $100 by this time frame. Now, options will be good to play when the gamma squeeze and the short squeeze is happening, but until it does happen, it is ultimately hurting the movement here, letting market makers collect this free money. Citadel is a huge market maker, the biggest market maker for retail trading, as well as they do have a very large short position in AMC, so that is quite possibly a reason why they are not being forced to cover as well. So that is going to wrap up this video. If you guys like the analysis that was provided to you in the video, make sure to hit that like button, as well as comment down below. Let me know what you are doing with your position in AMC stock. Also consider subscribing to the channel for more AMC update videos just like this one. And if you guys want to get totally free stock, check out the link down below in the description for public, no deposit necessary, no need to link a bank account, and you get your free stock in about 3 minutes time. It is literally free money, as well as they do not use payment for order flow, so your orders are going straight to the lit exchanges. And if you guys want to be notified in real time every time a trade is bought or sold in AMC or any other stock, whether it's stock options or crypto, whether it's a day trade, swing trade, or longer term investment, check out the link for the buy and sell alerts. Very inexpensive, join a great community, and it literally pays for itself. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. I will see you in the next video.